Welcome to The Paradigm Shift on 4ZZZ 102.1, where we challenge the assumptions of our current society to resist oppression and investigate alternative ways of living, for a world based on justice, solidarity and sustainability. Welcome to the Paradigm Shift on 4ZZZ 102.1 FM. It's your local community radio station that you have tuned into. My name's Andy and I'll be with you for the next hour. And today on the show, we're going to be talking about art. There is an upcoming exhibition at the Griffith University Gallery in South Bank there, and it's going to be with an art collective that I have followed actually for quite a while, Taring Padi, an Indonesian radical art collective. And I was very excited yesterday to get to go and have a chat with a few of the members of Taring Padi about what they do making political art there in Indonesia and about the exhibition that they have coming up. Runs from February 29th, next weekend, to 25th of May. And there's a huge collaborative poster that Taring Padi have been working on with Proppa Now, well-renowned local Brisbane Aboriginal contemporary arts collective. And also there'll be a number of other artworks that Taring Padi have made recently or from their archive. Also, we'll get to learn a bit about this fantastic radical art collective that is operating, of course, as we always need to remind Australians that Indonesia is very close, one of our nearest neighbours. We don't have much to do with it culturally, but there's hundreds of fascinating different cultures right there, and who knows how much of a better world it would be if we had better relationships with our neighbours. And so we start off with a bit of artistic collaboration, and on the show today chatting to some of the members. Of course, English is not their first language, and so if you are half tuning into the radio while doing other things, it might be hard to pick up everything that is being said. So if you can, I encourage you to sit down and have a close listen to it to find out about this very inspiring group that have been going for a quarter of a century now, making radical art, and still going now. So let's get into it. I had a chat with a few of the members. Let's have a listen. You are part of Taring Padi. It's an Indonesian art collective. Can you start off telling us a bit about how long the collective's been going for and what it does?
The collective started in 1998, about 25 years. We've been together. We've been doing a lot of projects and work with community. We work in exhibitions, mostly, visual art. Sometimes we make music as well. And we keep doing this project, a lot of projects, especially with community, because we think it's important, still factual. We use art. We can talk about a lot of things, a lot of issues, a lot of things to critique about this world.
So Taring Padi is starting in 21 December 1998, starting from student movement in a Suharto era. So we supporting in Reformation era in that time, and then in December we declare as institution of people's art, kind like that. And then we already 25 years. So the spirit of criticize or loving our country by art, because we're starting from student of art and staying and we stay there squatting in kind of like a same building before is our ex-campus 5 years, and then still now we try to make a big solidarity in the world.
How many people are in the collective, and have different people come and gone for the last 25 years?
So many, but if we include it from the beginning, it's about 70 people or more. The active members around.
The active member for like almost 3 years ago, it's around 15, both in Yogyakarta and also in abroad. And we spread in Indonesia. We also spread in many cities. And it's around 15 who already active in the group. We're talking about our project, but actually it's kind of fluid, the collective, so everyone can learn from Taring Padi if they really want to learn something from Taring Padi. Like now we have internship student, Vera also, she come here. She's from Ghent University from Belgium. So I think that's also the part how we regenerate the Taring Padi member. Like myself, I'm also the third generation in Taring Padi.
So the solidarity spirit is become voluntarian members in Taring Padi. So we are people of participating and emancipated in the Taring Padi, to looking the principle of Taring Padi and doing art by that.
So why do you make art as a collective instead of as 70 different individuals with all your names on there? Why do you do it as just one collective?
I think we start from the beginning because we come from art school, art student or art scene in Yogyakarta. It's so many like individuals in art around this environment. We are anxious about the situation in Indonesia that getting worse in the political outside, especially dealing with government. Like so many violence, so many corruptions, and just disrespect to people. And that's a reason if we fight individually, we're not strong enough. We get together, we want to make a movement. The movement itself can't be doing it, but we have to do it as many as we can. How until when we gonna stop? We're never gonna stop if we can still see the injustice in front of us.
For me, it's the way to rise as artists. Becomes collective, everything is much powerful because we have many heads. We can talk, we can exchange, we can learn each other and working together. This is is more powerful than individual art. For why I choosing to be a collective.
What kind of artworks do you do? I see here there's a very large poster you've done, but often it's like wood prints. What different mediums does Taring Padi do?
Medium is depend the event, the context, and the content where we start to making work or making artwork. So it's kind of like now we in Brisbane, we looking with the possibility, the medium or the material we use or the form of the artwork we use. We looking the possibility in Brisbane, so we created the banners. Because in each area, different area, or our we sometimes we just using song or music band or just performance or carnivals or any kind different form we try to do, because we looking the richness of art. We can digging more to make a more aesthetic, even all people can do.
How do you decide as a group what kind of artworks you're going to do? How do all the members discuss it?
Yeah, I think all of us, we have our own roles. Like, as you know, that Taring Padi is an art collective, but art collective need to be organized. So I'm here to taking part mostly of the management and administration things. So, and in every project, we just decide who will be the coordinator, who will be the person who in charge in the program, in the public program, because in every exhibition we always accompany with many public program like a workshop, printmaking workshop or cardboard puppet workshop. So in every exhibition we always make a team.
A lot of the artworks that you have done is the woodblock printing and the cardboard puppets, like you just said. These are very traditional Indonesian mediums and very easy to do with basic materials. Is that part of the philosophy behind doing these kind of mediums?
Yeah, I think traditionally in this media is not traditional, I mean from 100 years ago or something, but this medium like woodcut, we got it knowledge from the art school. But a lot of people can study modern art. But the way we do, because we have opportunity to use this medium or share, why don't we popularize? Because everyone can do it, because it's simple way. We can just, anywhere we can print, and like painting is not really traditional, but in traditional way, we use it intensively, like doing that traditional carving that's for many years. They create one piece, but that kind of culture thing or knowledge, we took some of it and we use it.
So it's kind of like it's easy to getting, it's cheap things, some things kind of like that is the we thinking, because we can get in any places, even in the small places like a cardboard, paint or something. So this is about the traditional or not traditional, because we have them because the west of the world already have that kind of technique and sharing until to our generation. So we're using that. And cheap, because when we get giving opportunity to the fishermen villages, they we bring the paint and the cardboard. They're really enthusiastic to creating something, because they have new opportunity to doing own art, because they have own artistic, and no one can see. But when we do and in workshop, we see every potential artistic normal people living they have.
And is that a core part of the collective, the doing the workshops and spreading the idea of art into, like you said, the fishermen villages?
Yeah, it's learn and working together and responsible with our program. It's our rules of doing any kind of activity in Taring Padi with the participate and emancipated opportunity to do that.
With art is easy way to express freedomly in the situation or issue or problem we raise. Normally we discuss about things what they do, in reality, like what we need to do, and we have to share our knowledge, and they share their knowledge. We learn it to each other. We learn a lot as well from the community, because if we don't know what's going on, we can't speak up about it. We can't help to speak up or help each other as well. Just this media is just help to make louder the issue.
You make political art in Taring Padi, and sometimes it's hard to think when you're spending the time painting or in the galleries what the real difference that it makes is, politically, you know. And so I guess for Taring Padi, what does it mean to make political art, and how do you see art translating into changing our lives?
Art is the tools in Taring Padi. Now, the important thing was the principle and issue what the Taring Padi bring and to raise up the issue of culture movement and people's culture movement or human rights and sustainable environment. That's the part of the basic issue from Taring Padi, and then we can down to the anti-military issue or any kind of issue, education issue, food issue. So because the basic principle of vision of Taring Padi is the way we making art.
We also, in reality, the projects need money or something. We can just sell or fundraise to do the projects, because we're gonna use it for everyone.
And I think through the workshop and also through the live-in, so Taring Padi working with many community, with the local artists, and we have networking. So that's our way to still connecting with the real problem outside. So we're not only working in the studio, so to get the real problem, we also ask the people, the community, when Taring Padi doing the live-in with the local community.
Yeah, it's like the example where we come here. We learn from Aboriginal people in Australia and talking about how we can creating something like that. This is a long process, a long discussion and long ways to get something like this. So we have solidarity with the Aboriginal people in here.
Yes, I was going to ask next about this big poster. What does it mean for you to collaborate with Australian Aboriginal people, and how did it come about making this artwork?
We are open with any opportunity like that, because in the open opportunity we try to learn always. With the new things we try to learn and try to understand.
Yeah, with these projects, for an example, just like we used to do, like we can collaborate or work with anyone, who agree with principle and agree with movements, something that a topic or issue that we can raise with art, like here. An interesting process, because while we're doing it, we learn, we discuss. It's a lot of things, not only on this picture, but the big pictures, big issues, and
Indonesian
we know, because we create this work while we hang out, and that is important. We share, and the Proppa Now is so happy, to work with us, because this is something new for them to collaborate with these hangout buddies.
How did it come about to work with Proppa Now? Did they contact you, or did you contact them?
We met Richard Barrels from Documenta 15 like 2 years ago in Germany, in Kassel. We had in the exhibition together, like art festival, and we hang out and decide, why can't we have a collaboration sometimes, Yeah, sure. And we start talking, and 2 years later we're doing it.
And before, Taring Padi already have project with Ikibawi Kururu collective from Korea. So it's like, okay, so after I have a project with Ikibawi Kururu, so let's keep continue, and it's happened now, connecting us to the Proppa Now.
Australia and Indonesia very close together in geography, but culturally quite different, and the two countries don't have very much to do with each other. I guess, do you feel much commonality with Australia, or how do you feel the relationship is between Indonesia and Australia, and what's it like to come here?
We've been connected to other artists as well in Sydney, Melbourne before. You have exhibition or festival, that kind of. But we haven't been connected to the indigenous people of Australia, like special, like the landowners in Australia. That's why we glad, not knowing, like Western way, be direct inside this group, interesting group and powerful group. That's amazing, fantastic.
Yeah, I ever have question about that too. How do we already have connected before colonialism come? Because it's very close. Indonesian and Aboriginal land is very close. Because it's after in the colonial era, everything is like there is a sense of colonialism, looking the geography, the peoples, the race, something like that. But before them, I think I have question about that. Do we have before that? So this is I think it's, we have quite a different things in Indonesia and Australia, but when I see come here, I looking like a houses in Sumatra Island too, like a Queensland house. I looking like I see in the Sumatra or
A lot of wild animals.
We have several similar tropical plants, also tropical trees. Yeah.
That's connecting one. Nature is connecting one before when.
I'm going to go back to the last part of that interview with Taring Padi now, but I didn't mention this at the start of the show, and we talk about it in this part of the interview. Of course, Indonesian politics has been in flux in the last couple of weeks because they have had an election, and Joko Widodo, who has been the president for the last 2 terms, is unable to run again, and so it will change. And unfortunately, it seems Jokowi threw his support behind Prabowo Subianto, who had run against Jokowi before, and Prabowo was the general of the Indonesian military at one point, and Prabowo is accused of atrocities both in East Timor but also against democracy activists when his father-in-law, Suharto, the Indonesian dictator from the late 60s until the late 90s, when the Indonesian people were rising up demanding democracy, the Indonesian military abducted a number of student activists who disappeared and were never seen again. At the time, Prabowo was the general, and he has tried to rehabilitate his image in some ways, particularly this election, using social media and a little cartoon avatar of himself to make him look like a cuddly, friendly old man. But there's a lot of concern in Indonesia about what it will mean for democracy in that country, which is not that old. Really, their democratic system only since the late 90s, and somewhat fragile with a immensely powerful military and, of course, lots of competing interests of different cultures. So anyway, I chat a bit about contemporary Indonesian politics now with Taring Padi, who do say that ultimately their art is for ordinary people trying to change their lives, and who is the president doesn't change too much. Well, I'm interested in talking to you about Indonesian politics because Prabowo Subianto is probably about to become president of Indonesia, and I guess a lot of us here in Australia are wondering about what this means for our neighbouring country. Do you want to talk a bit about Prabowo and about what politics is like in Indonesia at the moment?
In 25 years Taring Padi, we don't have any connection with all of presidents. So each exchange the president, we already working in 25 years. So not depend the president is, but Taring Padi always working in 25 years in different presidents. So what is Taring Padi looking for and the principle for? We see the politicals maybe not the main issue we always talking about, but the solidarity for the people in where injustice and human rights issue, environmental issue, we stay on there.
Yeah, doesn't matter. We don't care about who's in power in the country, the states. We still independently work together. We never really get support from the government. We know we disagree with a lot of things. They're basically our enemy. Because they've done like the worst thing in our country. With exploitation, with dysfunctional on the political help or social care about people. If it's fascist, we have to work harder.
Yeah.
If it's more democratic, we still work because there's so many things that we can talk about in art.
You said you grew out of the student protests in 1998 when they kicked out the Suharto regime. I guess that was a time when Indonesians were very excited about democracy and a big political movement, and now Prabowo is Suharto's son-in-law. Are people worried that it's going to go back towards dictatorship?
It is the important thing what the pro-democracy learning about this situation and this condition. So pro-democracy movement should be looking why that is happen, how the having kept education in Indonesia. The solution is how to make educated our peoples. So this is the important thing, so people can better thinking to just not following for food or something accident or pragmatis.
What about his he's been making these TikTok videos of himself as a cartoon. It's a kind of political art that, turned the military general into a smiley cartoon character. What do you think about that kind of using of art from like a government dictator? They can use political art as well, can't they?
Yeah. I think it's as freedom as we can. Shouldn't be stopped. People can use creativity freedomly.
Yeah. People can, and you can see in the social media era they have and different things era or things of. Before we have meme, before they have this. So this is the important thing, how people can speak in every ways. What they're thinking, so people can look and care what the situation and the real situation and the real condition. So it's quite different. This is the way, and another way how to people making art to speak up.
Social media.
Yeah.
Does Taring Padi use social media?
Mostly Instagram, but the Instagram now is also connecting to Facebook. But we also know that now everything's need organizing. Like now we most familiar with the profession, social media management, social media, blah blah. But we don't really into that thing, so we just do it like organic. So we want to post something like if information from the exhibition, or mostly like we celebrating important days, or we just posting organically. So it's not really our things to manage the social media.
The important thing is we connect direct to people.
Yeah.
We have discussion, we share things. Social media we use
tools. Another tool.
Yeah, but the things also from the social media, we share our artworks, we share the awareness, and from that, anything to respond about the election, about the new president, we can stronger together. We can keep building our connection to If we need to survive, we survive together. If we need to resist, we resist together.
Yeah, it's like every 5 years we making in election period, we creating artwork to respond about the election. This year we make a calendar. Before we making a poster and put in the street art or something, poster wood carving poster, we paste in the wall in the street in the city, but this year we try to our art more intimate to the people, so they can stay in house in their houses and looking for 1 year our art. We looking to more intimate feeling with our artwork.
Okay, I think that's everything. Do you want to share with us the details about the exhibition that you have coming up at the Griffith Art Uni?
The exhibition is about Tanah Tumpah Darah is translated in English. It's mean homeland, like motherland, and it's in the content of artworks we exhibit is exploration about how our artwork is dealing the issue with about land and human rights.
All right, thank you very much. Terima kasih.
Sama-sama.
That is some of the members of Taring Padi there. Their exhibition is called Tanah Tumpah Darah, and it does mean homeland or motherland, and it will be running at Griffith Uni Art Museum from 29th February to 25th of May. I did speak to one of the members of Proppa Now, Richard Bell, about what it's been like collaborating. Let's have a listen to Richard now.
Yeah, I'm Richard Bell. I'm a contemporary artist based here in Brisbane. I'm part of an Aboriginal collective called Proppa Now. And I met Taring Padi in Kassel, Germany in 2022 at a big show over there called Documenta 15.
And you're now collaborating with them in an exhibition happening in the next few weeks. I guess, what does it mean to collaborate across the Arafura Sea with people from Indonesia?
Oh, it's been quite an experience for us, you know, like to see Taring Padi like in action, how hard they work, you know, like and they have this aesthetic that they are all very familiar with, you know, like and it just seems like everything's interchangeable, you know, like if somebody's painting a particular part of the painting, you know, like somebody else can just step up and continue. It's almost seamless. So that has us in awe. But actually, the work ethic is phenomenal. You know, like they've got here at 9 o'clock in the morning and ended up leaving here after 9. So this is every day, this sort of thing. So they kept up that pace, like for more than a week here. Now I think they've had 2 sort of half days off.
Yeah, well, they've done a lot. It's very large artwork.
Oh, it's phenomenal, and the detail it's not seen, like in large paintings, in Western art.
Yeah,
it tends to be set to the side, like art by the other. Whether it's indigenous or Asian or African or South American, Central American, or even Sami art, from the indigenous people in Northern Europe. Well, set to the side.
Yeah.
And below.
Yeah. There's a few similarities between Proppa Now and Taring Padi, that you are drawing on ancient cultures but using contemporary methods, and you're doing political messaging, but also that you're working as a collective. I guess, do you see them as kind of kindred spirits with you?
Absolutely. Well, collectivity got us to capitalism. There was collective action all around the world. That's how societies evolved. By working together. And it's very strong in Indigenous cultures. There's many Indigenous cultures out in Indonesia. Thousands of islands, say, many different cultures, many different languages.
Do you feel like Proppa Now is learning off Taring Padi as you do it, and different ways to do both politics but also art making?
100%. We're looking at their methodology, their technique, their structure. We're looking at everything. It's been a wake-up call for us, to work at with a collective at such a high level is very honoured to be in this position.
And what about, I guess, the connection between Aboriginal people in Australia and Indonesian people? It's very close together geographically, but there's probably not a lot of cultural interaction, not as much as there could be. What do you think it means for Aboriginal people connecting with Indonesian people?
Well, I think people in the Gulf country, particularly the Western Gulf, would dispute that lack of contact with Indonesia. The Macassans have been trading there for more than a couple of thousand years. So the connection has been there. We're all aware of each other. All the others. The non-white people, we have something in common with each other. We're generally dominated by Western powers.
And do you want to tell us about this exhibition coming up? If people come along, what will they see and why should they come?
Oh, well, they see something very different, to what they used to see. The aesthetic is very different. I can tell you, there's no minimalism in this show. So, like artworks just packed with imagery and packed with meaning. And it's all aimed towards, I think, collective activity, solving our problems collectively, looking at the world as not just a place of extraction, but we have to give back as well, to the environment.
Yeah, well, that's part of, I guess, what Taring Padi. Yeah, people of the land, connection to the land, connection to culture, and to each other, collective.
Yeah, well, I think we see each other's respect for Mother Nature, for the land. Indeed, the name of this show is about that. The translation, the literal translation, is motherland. And the name at the top of the banner there is from one of the local Aboriginal languages, which says basically the same.
All right. Thanks very much, Richard.
Oh, no worries, mate. Thank you.
That is Richard Bell. They're part of Proppa Now, who are also part of this exhibition, Tanah Tumpah Darah, the Motherland. And it is amazing actually seeing the collaborative artwork. It's a fantastic artwork, and I definitely recommend getting down there at some point during the length of this exhibition at the Griffith Art Museum to see. It's kind of a documentary, the artwork. It's telling political stories. There's a lot of real life figures in there, as well as animals and ways of life of Indonesian peasants and Aboriginal people. But it's a lot about land defenders as well, and so it will be really amazing and fantastic to see that collaboration As Richard said there, in the northern parts of Australia, there's been cross-cultural collaboration going on between Aboriginal people and Macussan people from what's now called Sulawesi for a long, long time. And they would come to dive for sea cucumbers, and they would trade with Aboriginal people. Yeah, our neighbours are in Indonesia, and it's better for all of us. Life is always better if you've got a good relationship with your neighbours and you can help each other out. And the people of Indonesia, and there is a lot of them, 200 million people there, will be possibly needing our help if their government regresses into a more autocratic style under Prabowo Subianto. And so our solidarity will mean more than ever to try to help each other out. And so we'll continue to do that. I love connecting with other cultures and people from around the world and seeing how we can support each other, and it's very inspiring. Taring Padi, both the political art they make, but also their methodology of doing it as a collective and trying to work with ordinary people to enable ordinary people to make art that tells their stories. And so, come down to the exhibition and check it out. See you next week.